Here we go, loves. Peace, loves, peace, peace, peace. How y'all doing? Blissful rise, wherever you are from. Welcome, my YT family. Welcome, my beloved TikTok family. Welcome, my Twitch family and my FB family. Welcome. This is All Things Mastery Live class, our Monday Rising Live class. And y'all know what we do here, okay? We engage. We apply the universal laws and principles that is going to set us up for peace, prosperity, and elevation and ascension. Put us into alignment with what and who we wish to experience in this realm. And so I always teach y'all there's always an energy exchange. And here we talk all things mastery. We talk all the things that you need to position yourself to experience the life that you want and experience it in more in abundance. How do I do that? I do that by teaching you the core principles of metaphysics, core principles and fundamentals of metaphysics, universal principles, rewiring, neurological rewiring, your nervous system rewiring. Stone, Soweto, I love that name. How are you, my love? Right? So we do that by educating you because a lot of times, a lot of us do not remember who we are. And when I tell you of the importance of understanding who you are, I'm not talking about just your identity. I'm not talking about what you do. I'm not talking about your relationship to motherhood or parenthood or sisterhood or your business or any of your accolades. I'm not speaking to that. I'm talking about the core of who you are, meaning you are a bioelectromagnetic being, meaning you are an infinite energy source, meaning you are absolutely phenomenal. So if you never understood who you are on a molecular level, on a mental level, on a conscious level, then it's going to be harder and harder and harder for you to experience what you want to experience. Okay, so I teach you the core interplays between what and who you're repelling to what and who you want to experience. So if that sounds something like you're interested in, stick around because it is the first. Not just because it's the first, but this is a wonderful opportunity for you to take time, for you to take a little bit of time out of your day to invest in your self-development, because you are either moving forward or backwards. You're either going up, down, left to the right. There's no such thing as things staying the same. So I teach you all of these principles and how to effectively apply them, how to efficiently apply them, how to effortlessly apply them without all the complications. Because how many of you know you don't have to struggle to be great? Peace, Clyde. How are you, my love? You don't have to struggle to be great. You don't have to suffer to be great. You don't have to hustle harder. You don't have to have 4 and 5 jobs, right? So whether it is you want to get into entrepreneurship, because a lot of us want financial freedom, more financial security. So whether or not you want to get into entrepreneurship, you want to understand business, or you even if you have a business and you want to scale your business, right? If you want to understand money, if you want to get into the flow of money, if you want to stop robbing Peter to pay Paul, if you want to stop having anxiety around the first. Come to think about it, a lot of us are experiencing anxiety right now because this is when all the bills due. But how many of you know if you continue with that mindset, it is going to further put you in the frequency of lack? So this is a perfect time for you to be understanding that you're not a victim of your circumstances unless you choose to be. You're not a victim of your past traumas unless you choose to be. You're not a victim of societal norms, societal formations. You're not a victim of any of that unless you choose to be. And this rising, we're going to be talking about victimship and victorship, because you cannot be both at the same time. So when it comes to those of us who want to, Blurred, how are you, my love? When it comes to those of us who want to experience romantic love, I know I do. When it comes to us wanting to elevate, when it comes to us wanting to learn more about who we are, who our ancestors are, when it comes to us wanting to learn more about the law of attraction, the law of assumption, consciousness, okay? Because everything revolves around consciousness and energy. And this is what you need to understand. If you have aspirations of forging healthy relationships, if you have aspirations of scaling your business or even starting a business and it being successful, if you have aspirations of spiritually ascending, if you have aspirations on gaining more confidence, whatever it may be, depending on who you are, you need to understand that you are not a victim of your circumstances. You're not a victim of other people's circumstances unless you choose to be. So by helping you understand these fundamental principles, universal principles that is governing your behavior, because everything you do, everything you say, everything that you are embodying has a lot to do with your current identity, which is predicated upon all your past traumas. Actually, it's been scientifically backed up, indisputable fact, that a lot of your behaviors, a lot of your behavior patterns, especially when they are unhealthy, stems from your unconscious database, your unconscious programs. What do I mean by that? You have a dominant database that is predicated upon your past. So 90% of what you do, how you do it, where you do it, when you choose why you're doing it, okay, has a lot to do with what happened in your past. And a lot of us want to correct that. I just think a lot of us don't really understand how to correct it. Peace, Snap. How are you, my love? Snapdragon. That's a really cute name. Infinite gratitude. Thank you so much for joining the live. And by the way, make sure you are grabbing your daily heartbeats. Make sure you are supporting by subscribing on across all platforms. It is absolutely free. There is no fee. And subscribing, it is always good to support one another. Make sure you are liking and sharing the video. It is always, the more you exchange that is positive, the more it comes back to you in so many profound ways. Okay, so as a friendly reminder, I'm an educator. Okay, for those of you who are new to me, my name is Venus Scott. I'm a self-mastery mentor and educator, and I've been teaching beautiful souls just like you how to restructure their life, redesign their life, put them in alignment, and position them with the information that they need for them, to attract what and who they desire. In these lives, you're going to hear me repeat a lot of things over and over and over again. Love your vibes. Add me on Discord so that I can join your next stream. Okay, all right, Loretta. Lalate. Is that what it is? Did I pronounce that correctly? If I didn't, please don't charge it to my heart. Infinite gratitude. Thank you so much. I will do that. I absolutely will do that. So understand that the more you repeat something, the more you retain it, because repetition builds retention. And I will repeat that until we actually get it through our skulls, get it in our system, get it in our bodies. The more you repeat something, the more you gain retention of that thing. So even when we're talking about self-mastery, just think about it. Before you learn how to tie your shoes, before you were taught how to tie your shoes, you couldn't tie your shoes. But now I bet you can tie your shoes with either one hand, or you can tie your shoes if you have blindfold on, right? You don't even need direction. Peace, Sha. How are you, my love? How you doing today? Right? Hi, Tamika. Infinite gratitude. Yes, love it. Show up for you. Love it, love it, love it. Infinite gratitude, right? So just think about it. So when it comes to self-mastery, it's a lot simpler than a lot of us think, right? So when you hear me repeating myself, especially with important phrases and concepts and innuendos and all of these different things, you need to understand the reason why, because repetition builds retention and retention builds mastery. So the more you do a thing, the more you feed a thing, the more that thing grows, and that is mastery. It is equally important for you to know that you can master being a toxic person. What's on one side is also on the other side. It's just different degrees of it. So you can also, even though you can master self by elevating, you can also master the art of de-elevating. You can master the art of ascending, and you can also master the art of descending. So when you understand a polarity, it's always going to be included in everything you do. When it comes to you understanding a lot of these things, it makes it a lot more smoother when you are in transition. So the more you do a thing, just like tying your shoes, you become a master at it. A lot of us who now know how to swim, we didn't know how to swim before we learned how to swim, before we were taught how to swim. And the only reason why a lot of us swim like fishes right now is because we've been doing it constantly. We've been doing it repetitively. Now, let me ask you a question. What if you continually knew it? What if you started knowing that you were not the victim? What if you started acting like you were the victor? What if? What if you started adopting a healthier mindset? What if you stopped being a master of struggling to a master creator? What if? Because if it can happen for tying your shoes, it can happen for you creating a life that you want to create, right? So, how did you become a master shoe tire? How did you become a master at swimming? How did you become a master at articulating yourself in whatever skill set you have? How did I know I was a dancer? I was an extremely amazing dancer. Okay, extremely amazing dancer. How did I come and become an amazing dancer back in my day when I was dancing, doing the competitions? How did I win competitions? How did I always ended up in the spotlight? It wasn't by luck, coincidence, or happenstance. It was by design. I practiced and practiced and practiced, and much like that, self-mastery becomes easy for you to understand. Attracting, you being a consistent conduit for money coming to you, becomes easy for you to understand, to apply, and to adapt. Ja, what's up, love? How you doing? Right? So with anything, repetition builds retention, and retention creates mastery. Creation. Okay? It matters. The more you repeat a thing, the more you understand that you're rewiring your neurological system. You're rewiring your nervous system. And I know there's a lot of talk around that. However, there's also a lot of people who don't know what they're talking about, which it ends up being the blind leading the blind. Okay. So before we get into it, before we really get into it, let's give honor as we always do. We want to give honor to the infinite source of creation, Ashe. We want to give honor to nature. We want to give honor to the universe. We want to give honor to all people, places, and things that are of righteous and that are embodying righteousness. We want to give honor to all of the unseen forces that continually work in our favor. We want to give honor to our righteous ancestors who continue to pave the way and operate from the metaphysical side, who continue to protect us, guide us, and nurture us. We want to give gratitude to the infinite consciousness. We want to give gratitude to ourselves. We want to give gratitude that we didn't give up. We want to give gratitude for having another opportunity, another day, this beautiful day, to create the life that we desire, to take the necessary steps to create the life that we desire. Okay, how many of you know gratitude is at the beginning of elevating your energy? Okay, so here at All Things Mastery, we cover the core interplays from where you are right now to where you want to be, who you are right now to who you desire to be. Okay, why? Because until you remember who you are, you're gonna, a lot of us, so we're talking about victimship and victorship. Until you remember who you are, many of you are going to continually embody the victimship mentality, knowingly or unknowingly, right? And when we get further into this, it is not to throw digs at you, it is not to insult your intelligence, it is not even to insult you, okay? Because the truth is the truth, and it can make you feel all type of ways, but what it won't make you do is go down the wrong direction if you learn to apply it. Okay, so the truth is the truth against all platforms. So many of us that are struggling, I want to let you know that you don't have to. We are still struggling, many of us financially. We're still struggling with purpose and fulfillment. We're still struggling with emotional and mental peace. We're still struggling with the idea of belonging, the relationships, belonging to relationships. We're still struggling with our health. We're still struggling with a lot of things that we should not be struggling. And I'm here to give this master lesson that a lot of us have over the time fed this idea that we are a victim of ourselves, that we are a victim of the government systems, that we are victims of racism, that we are still victims of slavery, that we are still victims of injustice, that we are still victims of our past traumas, that we are still victim of other people's doings. And that's not true unless you continually act and be and actively say knowingly or unknowingly to yourself that it is true. Okay? So a lot of us know the core reasons as to why. Okay? A lot of us know the core reasons as to why. Ashe, put a one in the comment section if you understand so far. I don't ever want you to come to these lives and you do not understand what I'm saying. Peace, beautiful soul. Hi, Abstract. I don't ever want you to come into these lives and you not understand what we are discussing. I don't ever want you to not understand what we're discussing. I don't want you to ever have a question. So if you have a question, Sunny, I see the one. Thank you so much. I see one. Hi, beautiful. How are you? Okay. So I need you to understand this, because even if you don't have any of the traits that I'm speaking about, as far as us knowingly or unknowingly being and operating in the victimship mentality, I want you also need to be aware if others are around you with that mentality. Because remember, we are bioelectromagnetic beings, which means your aura, we're always exchanging auras. So your aura, energy aura, for those of you who don't understand that as of yet, we're always exchanging energies. And if you are around people, places, and people, I should say, that are in this victimship mentality, they can affect your aura. Infinite gratitude, abstract mind. Infinite gratitude, they can affect your aura. So there are many cases where it's not actually you so much as it is, pardon me. A lot of times it's not actually you doing something, like it isn't always you. Even though you are in control of how you respond to people, places, and things, the core of our experiences is not always because of what we're doing. There are times when we are experiencing other people's energy and other people's frequency. So if you are around other people who are in this victimship mentality, they are affecting you, because you don't have a bubble over you that is going to protect you in a way where you are not also going to experience the exchange of others that you are around, especially when they are in your immediate circumference. Okay? Because in order for you to keep your energy high, there are things that you need to do. Okay? So for those who don't know, I love using acronyms. So I am going to run through a list of acronyms, okay? Given the characteristics of victimship or victorship. There's two different things, and I want you to allow this information to receive it. Infinite gratitude, Ashe. My hope is that the information that is being transmitted will be accepted fully into the minds and the hearts of those who are engaging with it, those who are receiving it. Ashe. Okay? So I'm going to give y'all some descriptive language, okay? And so you can be aware if you're actually living in a victimship mentality, because a lot of us are doing it unknowingly. Okay. And so awareness is absolutely important when it comes to you understanding which one are you. Okay. So let's define victimship. Victimship is a state of being powerless or blaming other people, places, and things for the way things are. How many of us have heard far too often? I know I used to do it. I used to say, well, it's because my mother did this or didn't do that. It is because my father did things and he didn't do things. It is because the government system is doing all the things. It is because the political system in which all of these things are happening to me, right? It was everybody else but me. Jen, how are you, my love? Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to the live blissful Monday to you. It was everybody else but me. I didn't have no fault and no play in the game. I wasn't even on the board as a game, or so I thought, until I start taking responsibility. Peace, tell the truth. How are you, my love? Old me type shit. Yes. Oh, me, right? And so I became so good at being the victim, it became harder for me to deny that I was actually being a victim. I didn't want to take responsibility for my actions. Infinite gratitude, tell the truth. Make sure y'all grabbing your daily heartbeat and tapping the screen. I didn't want to take responsibility for my actions, even when I needed to. So remember in the beginning, I said repetition builds retention. The more you do a thing, the bigger that thing grows. Riri, infinite gratitude. How are you, my love? How's your Monday going? Right? So I became a master victim. Okay, it was always everybody else's fault. It was society's fault. It was my teacher's fault. It was my professor's fault. It was the way that the businesses was constructed. It was slavery. It was racism. It was the white people. It was the dark. It was the purple people. It was the black. It was everybody else but me. Victimship. It was a constant of me blaming and blaming and blaming and blaming. And I'll never forget. I wrote this story in my first book. Right. Recreating Your Reality, a journey to self-healing. I'll never forget the day that I was being a victim. I was deep into it. And I had to sit with that. And it is only when you stop running from the truths that are causing you to self-destruct can you break free from it. Infinite gratitude, tell the truth, infinite gratitude, right? And so there was a time when I used to exotic dance. Okay. Now I'm sharing this story because I need y'all to understand transparency also creates and leads to your victorship. Okay. So I was used to blaming other people, places, and things. Okay. Until a time came when something horrific happened to me, like many other women. I was a part of getting myself into this situation. So I'll never forget, I was in a club, I was dancing. And for those of you who experienced somebody or know somebody who was dancing, that was me. I used to be an exotic dancer, okay? And if any of you know about exotic dancers, there's a certain type of identity that you need to possess. There's a certain type of high that you need to have in order for you to effectively operate in those type of environments, okay? It's a psychological warfare. It's a physical warfare in those types of environments. Authenticity, highest vibration, and love, of course, Ashe, right? And so there was one time I was dancing, and there was a gentleman that always came to support me. Okay. Now, keep in mind that the things that we have to do, I'm talking about the drinking, I'm talking about doing the other extra activities, okay, that keeps your mind stimulated, but your spirit susceptible to being inhabited. Okay. Keep that in mind. Not to give a lot of details, but I ended up in a situation where I was taken advantage of sexually, not by one man, two. I will never, ever, ever forget that. Right? However, I speak from a place of complete healing. So when we're still talking about victimship, so in the beginning of that experience, and of course, I went through the shame, I went through all of the guilt, I went through all of the why was I there in the first place? First place, I went through all of the things that we go through, the psychological trauma of it. I went through all of those things, and mind you, this is something that happened to me even with my family. So at that moment, it was a deep story. It's in my first book, Abstract Mind. I told all about it in detail. Okay. And so after that, because I was so used to being stroked whenever I did something wrong, because I was so used to people taking pity on me, not understanding how that was crippling me. When I got so used to getting all the attention, because, oh, poor Venus, she's acting up because this happened to her. And it's just so horrific, right? Devastating, okay? I could not blame my guardian for that. I could not blame my guardian for the situation that I was in. Okay. And one day I'll never forget, every time I was around people, I had to shrink myself. I had to act like I was submissive and subservient. I had to act like I didn't have no power, like I was powerless. I had to act like I was the victim. I had to act like, oh, I tried. I had to act like it was just disturbing me constantly all day, every day. Because I was in that victimship mentality, I became used to people pitying me. I became used to people groping me. I became used to people, oh, Venus, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I became used to people coddling me, and it became easy for me to not be responsible and not be accountable for the actions that I took. Now, why do I say this? And I know all of you are mature. I need y'all to understand this. What happened to me, yes, it was horrific. Yes, it was devastating. Just like what happened to many other women and men, young and more mature. It is devastating and it never should happen to us. However, it did. But here's the thing, that a lot of the past victims of sexual abuse or sexual assault being violated in that way, I'm talking about the ones who are the mature ones. I'm talking about the ones who neglect being aware. I'm talking about the ones who neglect being in tune. I'm talking about the ones who ignored all of the red flags. I'm talking about the ones who thought that they can continue to do certain things and there not be no consequences. I'm talking about those individuals, and I'm talking about myself that was in the past. Okay? So I got tired of shrinking myself because this thing happened to me. I could not be both at the same time. And I will never forget the day I heard it just as clear as I'm speaking to you right now. Venus, you can't be both the victim and the victor at the same time. And I said, wow, because it was draining, not being accountable and responsible. And I had to sit with myself. Yes, Ashe. It could not. Morgan, how are you, my love? That's where not strong enough to survive. Ashe. I know what you're saying though. Ashe. Ashe. Yes, it still wasn't my fault. But you know the part that I played in it, Jen, nobody forced me to go swing on that pole every time I did. Nobody forced me to drink as much as I did. Okay, because any of you understand what alcohol is, it is alcohol. Okay, the etymology and what it is alcohol. It means spirits. And you are, every time you drink alcohol, not wine, not fermented grapes, I'm talking about that strong alcohol, it lowers your frequency. It makes you inhabitable and susceptible to other entities to take advantage of you. So it was my choice to continue to drink until I was outside of my mind. It was my choice. Nobody forced me to do the extracurricular activities that will stimulate my nervous system, that will stimulate and arouse all the different attributes that I needed to continue to dance exotically and to engage with the type of men and women who I had to engage with in that type of atmosphere. Nobody forced me to do that. When that happened to me in the past, I went with the gentleman. I went with them. Nobody forced me to go with them. In my mind, it was all about the money. In my mind, I've seen this man come to the club all the time, supporting me. He was nice, but that's what predators do. But I cannot blame the predator when I made myself susceptible to be the prey. Okay? So I can't blame them. They didn't force me to go with them for a private dance because I was also doing private situations. They didn't force me to do that. They didn't force me to continually drink. I did that on my own unstable recognizance. Right? So when I talk about being a victim versus being a victor, I had to choose one. And the day I chose it is the day that I took responsibility for everything that I just mentioned. Nobody forced me to drink as much as I did. Nobody forced me to do the extra stuff. Nobody forced me to leave with them. Nobody forced me to trust the fool. Nobody forced me to be so out of my mind that I was so in tune with myself. Nobody forced me to do any of these things. Nobody forced me to stay in the places that I was staying in. Nobody forced me to have the type of friends that I was having around me. Nobody forced me to do any of that. I had to then take responsibility for my actions, my part that I played. So yes, something like that happens to people is absolutely horrific and it's heinous. However, what many of actual victims won't tell you is the part that they played. Now, I'm not telling you that I deserved it. What I'm telling you is that I had a part to play, and being a victor means that you are going to be responsible and accountable for the part that you played, because only victims blame other people. Only victims accuse other people, places, and things for the circumstances that they also played a part in getting themselves in. So when you're in a state of victimship, you are absolutely powerless. You are absolutely powerless in blaming external factors and people. Having the victimship of unaccountability, and I have to choose that day, Venus, do you want to be accountable or not? Do you want to ascend or not? Do you want to keep walking around with your head low? Do you want to keep pretending? Because it became too much. Around certain people, I would be confident. Around certain people, I would lack confidence. Around certain people, I would have high self-esteem. And around other people, I would have low self-esteem. Around certain people, I would have to act like I'm deaf, dumb, blind, and docile and ignorant. And then around certain other people, I displayed my intelligence. Peace, Lawyer P. How are you? How are you, my love? Let's rise. Right? So the V in victimship is vulnerability. Infinite gratitude for grabbing your daily heart rate. Now, remember, I teach you all about perspective. I want you all to be open to expanding your perspective. When you start doing the studies, when you start investing in yourself, when you start diving real deep into the core of the why you are the way you are, when you start being real serious, taking your life real serious, you would connect with someone that can help you. Okay? So the V in victim is vulnerability. Put a one in the comment section if you know what vulnerability means, because we hear it all the time. Oh, he's not vulnerable enough. She's not vulnerable enough. They're not opening up enough. Put a one in the comment section if you heard that before. You need to be vulnerable. He's so closed off. She's so closed off, right? Right, Lawyer P, right? In order for you to have it also, right, Clyde? In order for you to have a healthy relationship, you need to be vulnerable. And this is what I mean. This is also a part of self-mastery. When you don't understand you, when you don't understand language, when you don't understand frequency, when you don't understand energy, when you don't understand these things, you lie susceptible and a victim to all of the circumstances. What does vulnerability mean, my people? My beautiful souls? Vulnerability means you are susceptible to being attacked, damaged, or hurt. Open to temptation. I want to say that again, and I want y'all to really listen to that, and I want you to put how did that make you feel? Like, what comes to mind when you hear that? I'm going to say it again, and I want you to type into the comments what you hear when I say that. Like, what resonates with you? Being vulnerable means that you are constantly susceptible to being attacked, damaged, broken, hurt, and open to temptation. What does those characteristics say about a person who is vulnerable? I want y'all to tell me. This is going. I trust the process is going to make sense. What type of person does that sound like? When I was first working on and doing the research for this master lesson, victimship versus victorship. Okay, I'm big on acronyms. I'm big on expressing things. An exposed person. I love that abstract mind. Come on now, come on, loves. Abstract mind. I love that. Come on now. What does that? Okay, it's like you're asking for it, for things to. Pardon me, I'm not flashing y'all. I can just see better when it's against all black. It's like you're asking for it, for things to happen to you. Ashay, I love that, Riri. I love that, Riri. Right? Let me ask you a question. Doesn't that sound like a weak person? The word susceptible, when you are susceptible to anything, that means your aura is exposed. That means your aura is weak. Whenever you are susceptible to anything, it means that your frequency isn't strong enough. It means that you don't have on your armor, or your armor is penetrable instead of impenetrable. It means that your barrier is weak, right? It means that you aren't able to defend yourself. Because if you was able to defend yourself, if you did defend yourself, then that the definition that's in vulnerability, it would not have attack in there. Means you're open to being attacked, damaged, hurt, and open to temptation, which means what? You can be easily led astray. So it's not that we need to be vulnerable. I don't want you to be vulnerable, my love. I want you to be discerning, transparent. You can still be transparent and not be weak. Y'all get the difference between the two? Remember, language also shapes your reality. Language also draws people, places, and things into your vortex, into your world, into your experience. So understanding the language that you're using is important. Understanding the etymology of the words is important. Why? Because everything is frequency, everything is vibration. And the more you say these things, the more your cells are conforming to it. So every time you say, well, I'm vulnerable in my relationship, or I'm in a vulnerable state right now, or this, or you're encouraging someone else to be vulnerable as if that's a righteous or positive thing, you are cursing them as well as yourself. Ouch. Right for you? It is important for you to understand this. Lewis, how are you, my love? So it's not that you need to be vulnerable, or you need to tell other people to be vulnerable in order for you to forge a healthy relationship. No, you want to start adopting transparency, because you can still be transparent and be powerful and not powerless. You can still tell your transparent truth and be the victor and not the victim. You can still live in your transparent authenticity without being weak-minded or weak-willed, broken, bruised, or damaged, or easily led astray. Let's move to the I in victim. Ignorant. People who carry this victim mentality, people who have adopted the victimship identity, characteristics are they are vulnerable, and they are, what's the I? They are ignorant. And I don't mean ignorant in a disrespectful manner. Facts, right, Riri? I don't mean ignorant. And for those of you who are new, joining me right now, pause for the cause. My name is Venus Scott. I'm a self-mastery educator and mentor, and I come before you live every Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we go through these master classes. And today we're talking about victimship versus victorship. How you can define, how you can pinpoint, right, and pick which one you're being, so you can correct these things. Because a lot of us are unknowingly in a state of victimship and we don't realize it. So the more information you have, the higher chances you can elevate, the higher chances you can understand what it is, so you can now correct it. So we're at people who carry a victimship mentality are extremely ignorant, knowingly or unknowingly. Now, I fully accept and respect those of us who are in ignorant stages at certain points, because we're not going to know everything all the time. So it is natural for us to be in the unknowing of certain things. What is unnatural is we keep playing the victim mentality. We keep acting like we don't know. We keep acting like we don't speak no evil, hear no evil, see no evil. We keep acting like we don't see others speaking, hearing, seeing evil. I'm talking about the willful ignorant, okay? And going as far as saying those who continually do nothing to not continually be ignorant. Lacking knowledge or training. What does ignorant mean? Lacking knowledge or training. Whose responsibility is it to gain knowledge? Put a one in the comment section if it's your responsibility. It's not your mother's responsibility. We're grown. We're adults. We're seasoned souls. We're incarnated souls. I mean, we done cycled the planet, circled the sun for how many beautiful sun cycles we done experience. There's no rhyme, reason, justification, or excuse why many of us are still unknowingly ignorant to a lot of things, especially when the information is not only within you and it's been within you since your conception, which is infinite. Is also made available to you externally. Victim-minded individuals are very ignorant. Why? Mainly because they don't want to be accountable and responsible. They don't want to do like others have done to actually heal, to actually elevate. They don't want to take responsibility for the part that they played. And I understand it's a challenging thing because when I have to take responsibility and not put all the blame on my victimizers, I also have to turn that finger to me. Now, that takes a lot of power. That takes a lot of courage for you to turn that finger to you, for you to open your eyes when you're staring yourself in the mirror. And when I mean mirror, I don't only mean the physical mirror. I'm talking about even the people mirror that are reflecting who you are back to you. It takes a lot of courage to say, you know what? I was wrong. You know what? I didn't do that the right way. You know what? I have to take responsibility and accountability because nobody forced me to do that. Nobody forced me to say that. Nobody forced me to think that. Nobody forced me to go there. Ashe? Now that's being a victor. So that day I chose, and I was in my mid-20s when this happened. I was in my mid-20s. My avatar was in my mid-20s when that happened. That day I chose that I was going to be the victor and not the victim. I wasn't going to keep on blaming other people, places, and things for the part that I played because I wanted to hold my back straight. I want my chakras open in a healthy way, in harmony. I don't want any of my chakras blocked. I don't want my heart chakra blocked, my throat chakra blocked. And whenever you are being in the victim state, that actually blocks your energy centers. It's a part of it. That blocks your energy centers. I didn't want my crown chakra blocked, my third. I didn't want no blocks, okay? I wanted to walk around like I knew I was confident. I wanted to walk around and not have to tiptoe. I wanted to walk around not in selflessness, but self-fullness. I need to be about my business. I could not be popping the shit I used to pop back then. Okay, back then that's what it was. In the language in which I spoke, I couldn't pop the type of shit that I was popping, knowing that I was a victim over here, but then a victor over here. I have to choose because going between the two, playing ping pong with my life wasn't working. Playing ping pong with my confidence wasn't working. Playing ping pong with my self-esteem wasn't working. Playing ping pong with my money wasn't working. Playing ping pong with my energy was no longer working for me. So let's move to the C. And victim, victim, cowardly. And just say ouch, okay? Y'all know I tell you the desirable truth and the undesirable truth. Hey, twin, how are you, my love? Joelle, how are you? J Love, pardon me, J Love, how are you, my love? Welcome in. Hi, my beautiful twin, right? Now, I give you the desirable and the undesirable. And those of you who understand, who have who we shared and exchange energies, y'all know it comes from a place of love, okay? But the love I give you, it ain't gonna always feel good, and I don't intend it for it to be. I need you to be so uncomfortable when I disrupt every dysfunctional thought, when I disrupt every neurological dysfunction, when I disrupt those things, I need you to be so uncomfortable that you don't want to be comfortable in your discomfort no more, that you actually want to change and you actually want to be ready. So, ouch. People who continually thrive in this victimship mentality are cowardly. Their actions are cowardly because as long as you keep blaming other people, places, and things, that puts you in a coward position because it takes the courageous, it takes courage to own your stuff. It takes courage to be responsible. It takes courage to be confident. It takes courage to speak your truth and not the false truth that you don't convince yourself of back in the day, that it's your mama's fault and it's your daddy's fault. Victim-minded people lack the courage. They lack the courage to do what is righteous. And most times it is because, infinite gratitude, twin, most times it is because you're too busy worried about how people are going to feel. Queen Nexus, infinite gratitude. They're too worried about how people are going to feel if they ever exposed themselves. However, let me tell you something. Everything that's done in the dark will be exposed in the light. You know why? Because you are natural light. Light comes from the dark. So there's no such thing as you continually think that you're just going to be not seen, not heard. No one is going to ever figure out the truth. It don't matter whether other people figure out the truth. You lying to yourself is destroying you, not nobody else. You being the victim is destroying you. I take that back. It's not only destroying you, you're helping to destroy others. Because nothing we do, it simply affects just us because we are one. We are one with the universe, the multiverse. We are one with nature. We are one with the cosmos, and we are connected. We are interconnected. So does everything impact everybody? No, but it does impact everybody to a certain degree. Now that's a fact. That's not an opinion and that's not a perspective. That's an indisputable fact that in it there will always be an energy exchange, and what you do don't just affect you. Okay? So you continually being the victim isn't serving you. And it isn't serving the collective, right, Sunshine? Abstract mind? Victim-minded people usually lack the courage to tell the truth. The truth. Not their distorted truth, the truth. Like I had to tell the truth to myself on that tragic day. Well, not on that tragic day, because of that tragic day as to where I was after that. The residual of the psychological damage, the residual of the spiritual damage, because I felt like I was just drowning in it. And I could not blame them any longer. I could not just blame circumstances. Right? Victim-minded people are very cowardly. And that's just the truth. So if you don't want to be considered a coward, I want you, with all due respect, start being the victim. Start being accountable for not only the impact you're making within you, but the impact you are contributing to in the world. We on the T. Victim-minded people are tainted. They are affected by every trace of something bad, every trace of something offensive, every trace of something infected and harmful. Everything about their aura is, you know what? I have a problem. I have a problem. You know what? I'm so upset that they're doing this and they're doing that. I'm so upset that who chose them to do that. I'm so annoyed at what the government keep doing. Do you know what's going on? Do you know what they're doing? We all do. I'm so upset because my mother did this and she keeps doing this. And I get so frustrated and I get so annoyed. I am so mad that my father wasn't a father to me. Because I wouldn't have had to go through all the things I went through had he been there. Now, mind you, this is 10, 15, 20 years ago. My family keep doing this. My family keep doing that. Tainted. Most of the conversations that we have is predicated upon this victimship mentality where we're bitching, we're moaning, we're complaining because we're affected and we embody traces of something bad, something offensive. We're always being offended. Do you know the only people that can be offended are weak-minded and weak-willed? Because what I do, if someone is doing something unrighteous to you, another person's mood, another person's personality should not alter your DNA. Another person's mood or another person's action should not alter your mood. Whenever you are completely disturbed by someone's doing, what they're saying, what they're being, whenever you are completely disturbed by another person's actions, whenever you are completely disturbed and distorted, you done gave that person power over you. So how can you be both powerful and powerless at the same time? Speak wisdom. How are you, my love? How can you be powerful and powerless at the same time? How can you be the victim and the victor at the same time? You're going to have to choose one, baby. You're going to have to choose one. I say, you're going to have to choose one. Mostly all conversations and actions of victim-minded people are centered around gripes, complaints, distortions. I said, y'all know, put one in the comment section if you understand what I'm saying. Okay? Y'all all know these people. Why isn't this allowing me to touch it? What's going on? Hold on. Give me 1 second. Oh, this is crazy. Oh, I don't want to do that. Damn it. Oh my God. I'm not trying to send an invitation to you. I'm trying to pull up your okay. Okay. That ain't working. Ashe, right? Now let's keep going the list. We're still talking about the victim. Okay. So victim-minded people are what? Always vulnerable, always ignorant. They love to be ignorant. They love to not know things. They love to be irresponsible and unaccountable. Victim-minded people often has the character. We're talking about the characteristics of victims. Like not victims, pardon me, victim-minded people. The individuals who always seek victimization. They live in victimization. Let's go to the I, irresponsible. Like I was irresponsible back then. I didn't want to own the fact that I was irresponsible. I was acting cowardly. I didn't want to take responsibility for my actions. I didn't want to take responsibility for swinging on that pole. I didn't want to take responsibility I didn't want to accept that no one was forcing me to do it, even though my guardian condoned it. She allowed me to do it. Well, I was 18. I was 18. However, I still made the choice. This is why it's so important. This is another reason making you proud. That's a beautiful name. Infinite gratitude. Come on in. This is another reason why understanding and embodying universal principles is important. because it didn't matter whether I was ignorant or not. It didn't matter what I subscribed to or not. It did not matter so much as the effects that were happening because of what I caused. Okay? So it didn't matter that my mother allowed me to dance. It didn't matter that I chose to dance and do all the things that I was doing while I was dancing that led up to that situation. It didn't matter that those who I was hanging around condoned it. They weren't no better. Wasn't nobody trying to talk me out of it. Wasn't nobody trying to say, Venus, you skillful in a lot of other areas, you can do other things. I didn't have to, I had a whole bunch of other ignorant cheerleaders. I hung around a bunch of other victims. We were all happy, skipping down the line down the victimship lane. Okay? I didn't want to be responsible. I was irresponsible. Okay? What I didn't know is that the consequences of me being irresponsible was gonna be severe. That's what I didn't know. In the universe, let me tell y'all something. And now I just spoke about the law of cause and effect. For every cause, there is an effect, and for every effect, there is a cause. And because I made a decision. Which led to the cause, which led to the results. Ain't no God, no matter what God, what the name of the God is, was ever going to save me from that. No Jesus was ever going to save me from that, because I was a Christian then. No matter how many times I prayed at night and then went go dancing, and that, no matter how many times I prayed, no matter how many times I begged, no matter how many times I pleaded, then I was pleading too, was going to save me from the consequences of my doing. It violates the law. This is what we have to wake up, my loves. I couldn't just lay it at the altar. I couldn't just drink wine and a piece of bread and it all be done with. I couldn't just wipe my hands of it and receive. No, I did something. So now I'm going to reap the cause or the benefit. I'm going to reap the consequences. Because that's the soul that I set. That's the seed that I sown. And wasn't nobody going to save me from it. Because that's not how it works. Even God cannot violate God. Whatever you perceive God to be. Now, how long is it going to take for us to understand that? How long is it going to take for you, the experiences that you're having in your life? How long are you going to keep blaming it on the devil and not the devil in you? How long are you going to keep blaming your parents and the system and the government and the president? How long are you going to keep blaming them? How long are you going to keep being irresponsible? How long are you going to keep being the victim? Because I don't think you're a victim. Not because I know who you are inheritedly. So it means that many of us are choosing to be deaf, dumb, docile, and blind. Many of us are choosing to be a victim, because why? It's easier for you to stand up for righteousness and to stand in righteousness. It's easier for you to blame him or her or that or this, instead of blaming yourself, instead of taking responsibility and accountability for yourself. It's easier for you to be irresponsible. Why? Because we get the likes, we get the praises, we get those other dysfunctional beings around us that condones our foolishness. But it feels so much better when you're the victim, when you're the victor. It feels so much better to be empowered. It feels so much better to own your traumas. Especially when you were a part of it. When you self-inflicted the trauma. It is empowering to own your stuff, to own your decisions. Not that you need to continually live in your past decisions, but there is a power that is in you stepping in to your victorship. There is a power that comes with you owning what you did. There is a power in you owning what you're doing right now. There is a power to you auto-correcting your language. There is a power in you reclaiming your energy. There is a power. It takes a lot of courage for you to start distancing yourself from being around other victimizers, other victimizers. There's a power in you separating yourself and distancing yourself from other people who carry this victimship mentality, because if you stay on that shit, baby, you're going down with it. You're going down with it. You may not see the ship sinking right away, especially when you don't know where the holes are, when you don't know where the leaks are, or if you keep putting band-aids over them leaks. If you remain on a sinking ship, don't blame nobody when you drown. Now, I'm not talking about physically drown. I'm talking about spiritually, metaphorically. Don't blame nobody else. I want you to own it like you owned your stuff. Ashe? The last letter in victim. So we went over the V, which is victim-minded people are usually very vulnerable, ignorant, cowardly. They are tainted by every bad thing and every harmful thing. They are extremely irresponsible. Not showing any type of proper sense of responsibility. And lastly, they are extremely miserable. My goodness. It is, when I, that's wild. Did I skip? Not tainted. Thank you, Sunshine. Tainted. So V is for vulnerability, I is for ignorance, C is for cowardly, T is for tainted, I is for irresponsible, and lastly, the M is for miserable. I know y'all are around people that are miserable. Y'all see these people all the time. This is one of the most, I guess you can say, I'm not gonna put a name on it. Not the name that I want to put on it. I'm saying. I mean, nobody telling y'all to sign up to be the clown in the circus. Nobody's forcing you to be the clown in the circus. Let's just call it what it is, right? Peace, Kirk. How are you, my love? How are we doing? Nobody's forcing you to be a clown up here on these social media streets. No, you're signing up on your own. How many people do you see trying to give you inspiration and they like, I came here to just say, give you some inspiration and motivation. I want you to, not worry about yesterday, just do what you gotta do. Not even nonchalant. Like every facial expression is miserable. You hear the constant bickering. You got a problem about this. You got a problem with that person. It's always a problem. Like even when we're having positive conversations, y'all know them people that come around and they just change the frequency, change the mood automatically. How you looking so miserable talking about, I just came here today just to, inspire you and encourage you. And then you looking all type of crazy. Nothing about you say inspiration. Nothing about you say motivation. Nothing about you say courageous. Get off of social media and get your energy together. Get your energy together, because that's wild. That's wild. Now let's move to the favorite part. We all know people like this. I'm like, how are you on here talking about I want to inspire you? And meanwhile, who are you trying to inspire? I mean, you need to collect your whole vibe back. Do something. Okay, let's go into Victor. Okay, let's go into the acronyms of Victorship. Okay, so we went over victimship, we went over the characteristics and the embodiment, and what those who are constantly in this state of victimship embody, so you can recognize if you're in that. Okay, which you need to, because you can't fight what you can't see. You cannot fix what you don't know is broken. Awareness is required. You have the courage. Trust me, you have the courage to do it. And the more you do it, baby, the more courageous you become. The more you strengthen your confidence, the more magnificent you come. And you know what else? The more freeing you become. When you start living in your authenticity, and you can only be authentic if you are not a victim. If you're not playing the victim and being the victim, you cannot be authentically you. I'm talking about your higher self if you're still being a victim. Because that's not who you are authentically. I'm talking about cosmically. You are a pure soul, a righteous being. You learn the polar opposite of many things. You also choose which degree that you're on. Nobody's forcing you. You choose that. And what I'm here to tell you is that you are all victors if you want to be. You are also victims if you want to be. You get to choose. That's how phenomenal you are. Okay? You get to choose. Now, victims, okay? Those of us, victors. Those of us who are victors, okay? The V stands for valiant. We are valiant. We show courage and determination. Let me tell you, in my younger avatar years, okay, I was 4'11", 4'10", 4'11" for I don't know how long. Okay, when I finally learned that I was actually 5'1" and not 4'11" anymore. Okay, when I went into the military, okay, I was excited about that. However, back in the day, I was the defender. Any physical altercation I've ever got in, it was for defending someone else who wasn't defending themselves. And we are also called to defend those who aren't, for whatever reasons, able to defend themselves. Just like we are to defend children. Why? Because they are physically incapable of protecting themselves in a lot of cases. So what? We are warriors also. We're not just it's a soft life. It's just that we doing it. You know which lineage you are from, my love. We have warrior DNA in us. So every physical altercation I ever got into, okay, was because I was defending someone else. And let me tell you what valiant looks like. Every time, you could not tell me I wasn't 8 feet tall whenever I popped off. You understand what you do? Do y'all understand what I'm saying? Now, can y'all just imagine this itty bitty person? Okay, I will pop off. There ain't no such thing as a giant to me. Whenever it came to me defending somebody, and that was my worst thing to ever see, other girls bullying other girls who wasn't defending themselves. I rose up. Victors rise up with wisdom, though. Even though I didn't have a lot of wisdom back then, because I didn't care what the situation was, I was going to whoop your ass, okay? In which I did in many cases. Now, I'm not bragging about harming other people. However, I will absolutely never apologize for whooping the asses that I whooped, because they were harassing other people. They were harassing other children in the classroom. They were antagonizing other children in the classroom. And the way I would have wanted somebody to defend me if I was ever that timid, that shy, unable to stare to protect myself, I would have wanted someone like me to protect me. So I'm grateful that I was created with this warrior spirit, okay? It ain't all about rainbows and sunshine with me. It's not. It's never been that. I have embraced that part of me long ago, and I am proud of it, okay? Because you're not going to get away with that shit around me. I'm going to speak up, I'm going to speak out, and I'm going to tell the truth. And if it comes to it, baby, somebody got to go. And it's never the righteous one that has to go. People who, beautiful souls who live in the victorship, they are valiant. They're going to stand up for what's true and from what's righteous, and they're going to defend those who aren't able to defend themselves in righteousness with wisdom. Not just foolishly do things, but with wisdom. I've always been that one. You couldn't tell me I wasn't 8 feet tall whenever I popped off. I always spoke up. I didn't care what other kids would have thought. I didn't care what my mama, my daddy thought. I didn't care what the teachers thought. I never cared about any of that external thing when it came down for me doing something that was righteous. It was automatic for me. It was natural for me. So this I embody for some time now. If you're doing something unrighteous, and especially if you're around me, baby, I'm gonna pull you to the side. I'm gonna pull you to the side, and I'm gonna give you a fair little nudge of a warning. And you're gonna have two choices. You can either change your ways, or I'm gonna remove myself from you. I never cared about the association. I didn't care about whether it was my mama. I didn't care whether it was my daddy. I didn't care I did not care of the physical association. If you are unrighteous, I will distance myself from you. I will remove my presence from you. Because when you are operating in this victorship mentality, when you are a righteous soul, and you embody righteousness, unrighteousness will irritate you. That means people who are acting unrighteously, and being a coward is unrighteous. Being timid is unrighteous. Being intimidated is unrighteous. Being deaf, dumb, and docile, irresponsible, and unaccountable is unrighteous. Okay? Being a victim is unrighteous. Now, saying that there are not those who have been victimized, but what I'm saying is I'm speaking to those who continually live in that victimship mentality. 10, 20, 30, 40 years later. Victors are valiant. Victors are impactful. We are impactful. We are great manifestors. We make a great impact, and we create the most profound effects. People love me. I have many, many people who love and adore me. Many, many people who love me, adore me, respect me. You understand? They may not like me. However, they have no justification, rhyme, or reason not to respect me. Why? Because I respect myself. I honor myself. Okay? I have people who love me. I have people who love to be around me. You know who don't like to be around me? Put a one in the comment section. Now, don't put a one in the comment section. Put something in the section why in the comment section why you think people don't like unrighteous people. I know y'all intelligent. Shani, how are you, my love? Shania, pardon me. Shania, how are you, my love? Welcome in. Why do you think people don't like being around righteous people? Put it in the comment section with the reason. One of the reasons. Put down one of the reasons why you think there are people who don't like being around unrighteous people, who don't like being around righteous people. Why victims don't like being around victors. Put it in the comment section. Let me hear from you. What you got to say? Sunshine says because we can see through them. Baby, listen. Like infrared beams, like Superman scope. We got Superman scope when it comes to them, right? We see through walls, we see through clothes, we see straight through spirits. Mecca says you resemble what they're not. Oh, ouch. Yes. That's the only reason. The only reason. Because you like Mecca said, you are you resemble what they're not being. Weak people cannot stand courageous people. Unintelligent people cannot stand intelligent people. Unaware people who are ignorant cannot stand a person that's aware of not only themselves, but higher things. Can't stand. Can't stand. They can't stand the way you talk, the way you walk, the way you smile, the way your boldness shines, the way your light bright. They constantly, oh, I want you to be humble. You need to humble yourself. You need to be humble. Okay. I'm so humble. Okay. I'm humble. Okay. Come on now. No, thank you. No, you can unlike me until February of never worry. It don't shake me, move me, break me. But when I say I'm just groovy over here, groovy. Hey, come on, baby, continue to tap the screen, my loves. I'm not saying any hurts. I'm good over here. People don't always welcome correction. And only fools dismiss correction. Only fools despise wisdom. And that's a truth. That is an indisputable truth and fact. Brown Empress, how are you, my love? Right? So we are valiant and we are impactful, baby. Everywhere we go, our presence and our energy precedes us. We are impactful because we vibrate high, okay? We vibrate high and we're confident in doing so. We're confident in doing so. Don't ever diminish the work you put into you to appease someone else's insecurity or lack of courage. Don't ever dim yourself. I love everything about you. Ah, infinite gratitude. Don't ever do that. Because for you to reach a certain level of confidence, for you to reach a certain level of spirituality, for you to reach a certain level of intellect, a certain level of wisdom, for you to embody those very same things, come on now, don't diminish what you did. Some of y'all fought through a lot of horrific things to feel the confidence that you feel now. To embrace love, to give love without shame, to speak up against unrighteousness. Don't ever diminish that to appease somebody else's insecurities or lack thereof. Let them be cowards on the other side of the street. Don't you ever dim your light. Don't you ever diminish or discount the work you do on a daily basis to raise your elevation, to elevate, to raise your frequency, to put yourself in higher states of consciousness. Don't ever diminish yourself like that. Don't ever let nobody play you like that either. I don't give a, it don't matter who they are. It don't matter their status either. We don't want their likes and their hearts and their friendship that bad, baby. Keep all that shit, baby. Because when you're secure in it, when you embody mastery, baby, you don't have to kiss nobody ass for nothing. Why? Because you have everything you need. Most people who have to be cowardice around other people, most people who have to diminish their light in front of other people, most people who have to be humble in front of other people, they do so because they need something from the other person, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's validation, whether it's security, baby. But when you all of those things yourself, when you know that money constantly flows to you, you already have enough. When you know that you don't need nobody else's validation because you already been validated, you know. When you know, you can stand up upright and say, baby, oh, we not doing that. Me, her, and all the other people that live inside me, none of us agree to your bullshit. Because none of us is desperate enough to tolerate your bullshit. Okay? I tell men that all the time. Because they, especially the ones that have really nice packages. Baby, it don't matter. It don't matter what the package is, baby. No can do. Return to sender. Okay, return to sender. I don't give a damn about none of that. It didn't matter what kind of car you drove, what kind of lampshades you had. It didn't matter what kind of shoes you had, what kind of bracelets or necklace, baby. None of that shit ever moved me. Why? Because I always had for myself. If I wasn't driving, come on now, listen, listen, okay. When people say, "Oh, I was that girl back in the day with all my stuff," okay, all the stuff. I had the consistent money. I had the Mercedes and the BMWs and the Maximas. I had luxury. I've been in mansions, plenty of them. I lived that life. Ain't shit you can do, ain't much you can do, ain't much you can do to impress me. Ain't much you can do, especially if you're trying to impress with materialistic things. Baby, when you can suspend yourself 5 feet up in the air, then I'm impressed. I want you to become so confident in yourself. I want you to become the victor so bad that that victims, people who are living in victimship mentality, disgust you. That you don't want to be nowhere around that frequency. It's like, oh, don't touch me. I'm a germ, baby. Listen, I'm very hygienic. I'm a germophobia. Okay, I love to be clean. Baby, when I tell you I love to be clean, I love to be clean. And if I'm around you and I got my skin out and stuff, don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch, especially when we both out and about and we touching things. I won't even touch my own skin. Okay? Don't touch me. That's how I want y'all to be when them type of people come around y'all. Hey, don't touch me with your dirty hands, with your dirty energy, with your. I don't want none of that shit on me. Okay? I don't want any of them fucking bugs hopping on me because people who live like victims, baby, they like fucking bed bugs. You sit on that bed one time and you're gonna be itching, and not only that, you're gonna fucking have bed bugs all around in your house. All because you done set your ass around somebody because they your friend, because they your mama, because they your daddy, because they your daughter, because they your son. Okay? And now you gotta go through a whole fucking routine to cleanse yourself of them bugs, and you gotta wash all of your clothes, and it's gonna cost you. It's always gonna cost you to be on the other side of the road of victorship. Don't touch me. Ew. Let's move to the C. Let's move to the Z. Victors are confident. Confident. Confident in how we talk, confident in who we are, confident in where we are, confident and confident in how we present ourselves. We're confident in what we wear. We're confident in, baby, we're confident. And then, baby, when I tell you, there are those who can walk in a room and the room just stops. And the room just go on pause. It just go on pause. Because your energy is that profound. Your energy is that confident. Confidence is a magic potion. Confidence is a magic potion. Magic potion. And it has nothing to do so much with the external aspects. It has a lot to do with the internal aspects. Victors are confident about themselves. They are sure about themselves. They don't have a lot of uncertainty about but they don't have uncertainty about their abilities. Now, they may pause for the cause to assess the situation, but don't get that confused with complacency. Okay? There is a difference. Victors are not complacent in their confidence. They're just wise. Okay? Victors are confident. That means we walk, talk, embody, speak, and move confidently in all that we do. Ashe, your favorite. How are you, my love? Ashe, sunshine. Ashe. The next letter in Victor is the T. We are transformative. We are transformative, baby. Listen, Decepticons ain't got shit on us. We Autobots. Okay? They ain't got, we Autobots. We cosmic bots. Okay? We are very transformative. We can transmute any negative energy into a positive energy, baby. We can turn the switch on whenever we want to. We can shine in the darkest places. We are transformative, not only for ourselves, but whoever we touch and are touched by us, they have no choice but to transform or to get on with their life. Ashe? I posted this rising with my morning coffee regarding this. Okay, we're confident. Victors move with confidence. Okay, they move with confidence in everything that they do. Everything that they do, it speaks volumes about who they are. Right? Let's go move to the O. Victors are also optimistic. We are not pessimistic people. You couldn't see the silver line if it was right across your face. Some people cannot see the sunshine if it was in their face. Some people could not know love if it slapped them in the face. Some people will not know love even though love is within them. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. We are optimistic. We always see the glass full. Even when it's half full, it's gonna be full. It ain't being half empty isn't a part of our conversation. It being half empty isn't a part of our dialogue. It's full because I said it's full. And I have the confidence to know that it's full and it's gonna stay full as long as I consistently fill it. No option, okay? No option. So I need y'all to understand that if you have any of those characteristics, okay, especially of the victimship, right? If you just think vulnerability is okay, if you think being weak is okay, if you think being ignorant okay, it is okay, if you think being cowardly is okay, if you think you being tainted, right? Nothing good happened to you. You're always going through. You find people that every week they going through something. Every fucking week they going through something. Now I am very empathetic to the people who are actually going through something. However, week after week, month after month, year after year, this is every fucking conversation we have. Oh, I'm going through it. This person did that. My job is doing this. My boss is doing that. My mama did this. My daddy. Every week you going through something. Nobody want to keep hearing that. It just drains you dry. It depletes your energy. And so, and then you on the other end, like, oh my goodness, I really love this person. But man, they are draining, pessimistic. Very pessimistic. Everything they find fault. There's no, well, if that person would do this, then I would. If all men was like this, or all women was like this, and it would be then. If we didn't have to do, if the president was here, and if we wasn't in, if our ancestors wasn't enslaved, and if they didn't take us from over here to over there, and if they wasn't doing this, and if they wasn't white or black or brown or fur, it's always pessimism. Always pessimism. You don't see the light nowhere. Just always low. Always low. Twin, how are you, my love? Y'all don't want to be like that. So we are valiant victors. Men and women who embody victorship. We are valiant, we are impactful, we are confident, we are transformative, we are optimistic, and we are resolute. We are determined to resolve, not determined to be stuck. Not in this a resolution. Resolution. We are very resolution solution based. Okay? And we do that by embodying all of those characteristics. Core beliefs of a victim. They are always thinking that bad things seems to always find them. They are constantly moving 10 steps back every time they take 2 steps forward. Woe is me. Always repeating their past traumas, their past stories, and their past assaults. It's always what other people, places have done to them, not what they've done to themselves. Ooh, ouch. I'm going to say that again. It's always what other people have done to them and not what they've done or doing to themselves. Ouch. That's a victim-minded individual right there. Right? So a lot of us are self-victimizing. Ain't nobody victimizing you. You're victimizing you. Every time you complain, every time you moan, every time you bitch, every time you shift the responsibility, every time you project your irresponsibility, every time you do those things, every time you're not acting in righteousness, every time you display cowardice, you are self-victimizing. And it is going to continually lead to your self-destruction. Remember, I tell y'all all the time, there's no such thing as things staying the same. Peace, Blackwater. How are you, my love? No such thing as staying the same. Ashe? Victims love receiving praise. They love receiving pity. They love pity parties. They love to bring others into their pity zone. They love for other people to stroke their insufficiencies, their inadequacies. They love for people to, it's okay. You know what? You right. I don't know why they doing this. I don't know why they doing that. I don't know why they have to go there. I don't know why they have to sign that. I don't know, blah, 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 blah. People like that around you are dangerous. They are very dangerous. Because what y'all not realizing is that both of y'all are on sinking ships. I don't know about you, but I don't want them type of people around me. I don't want no yes or yes man. Don't stroke me. I want you to tell me the truth in love. If I am doing something that it isn't righteous, or if you see me self-destructing, love should cause you to tell me what I need to hear instead of tell me what I want to hear. Loving yourself, you should be able to tell you what you need to hear instead of what you continually want to hear. Ashe? Content with living in the past. You're content. People who are continually exist in this victim-minded frame. Peace, Chef, how are you? Because of safe travels, right? They're content. They're very content in their ways. They're content with continually telling the story. They're content with telling them, oh, my husband did this, and my husband, and I've been did it. Constantly, the stories you repeat are the stories you continually live, but they're so comfortable in talking about the past. The whole world revolves around them. The whole world must pity them. Anybody who comes into their presence must pity them. Anybody, you must you must help me feel more sorry for myself. You must condone my insecurities. You must contribute to my foolishness. People who live with big victimship mentalities, they joke way too much. Very sarcastic, pessimistic, always like to throw subliminal innuendos that are disrespectful, backhanded compliments. They love to project, right? Envious. That's the characteristic. Victim-minded individuals are very envious, and they will always avoid reflecting. They will always avoid reflecting. It is you, them, and that. It is never me. It is never, ever, ever them. They play no part, but yet they are so loud. They played no part. They got so much to say about something or someone, but played no part in it. You are found playing no part. It is never them. It is always because of someone else. Infinite gratitude, Big Chef. It is always because of someone else or something else. Never because of what you did. Never because of what you caused. Never, I mean, come on now. Many of us don't play games with ourselves. We play games with other people, and that would mean that you are also a game player. So you made all of these moves and then just gonna hide your hand? Or just gonna blame Casper? No, you did that. You're choosing to continually repeat your traumatic stories. You're choosing to stay connected with people who are like you. You're choosing to not be accountable and irresponsible. You're choosing to be broke. Ooh, ouch. You're choosing to be without. You're choosing to remain fearful. You're choosing to live in scarcity. You're choosing to not forge healthy relationships. Miss Lefty, how are you, my love? You're choosing to be in the situations that you're in. You're literally choosing to be the victim and not the victor. You're literally choosing it. Whether you like it or not, just look at your life. It ain't gonna lie to you. The receipts of your life ain't gonna lie to you. Especially this, and here's why I really need to understand that you cannot fix something that you don't know is broken. And a lot of people have broken mentalities, broken spirits, broken concepts, ideologies, broken information. They don't have all the pieces to the puzzle. So how can you see the vision of the puzzle if you don't? How can you put the puzzle together and you don't have the pieces? And you blaming everybody else for why you don't have the pieces to the puzzle, and it's your fucking puzzle. It's yours. Just like your body is yours. And you get to choose whom to give it to and whom not to give it to. You get to choose who to give your money to and not give your money to. So you get to choose whether you do all the other things or don't do all the things. Don't fucking cherry pick. Don't cherry pick. No. Keep that energy, embody everything you need to embody. Stop blaming the fucking devil please stop blaming the devil on things that you're doing. Unless you're willing to face the fact that you are the devil, you are proclaiming that it's wreaking all that havoc in your life. You are the devil you talking to. You are. Ain't no devil chasing you. You chasing you. There is no monster chasing you. You chasing you. Hardships and hard times isn't chasing you. You're chasing you. It's you and it's you and it's you. It ain't nobody else. You're literally co-creating your reality. It isn't nobody else's fault. Ain't nobody forcing you to repeat those stories. Ain't nobody forcing you to not do nothing about your life. No one is forcing you not to do. No one is forcing you to remain ignorant. After all of these years, with all due respect, after all of these years, it baffles me how many of us still think it's the devil's fault. Given this made-up entity all the power in the world, you only saying how weak you are. So it's the devil's fault as to why you don't want money. And then y'all bold enough to say, if God wanted me to have a husband or wife, I'll have one. When God feels it's the right time, I'll have a husband or wife. When God feels it's the right time, I'll be a thousandaire. When God feels it's right, I'll be a millionaire. When God feels it's right, I'll get out of this poverty situation. When God feels it's right, it's all in the right timing. Or when the devil get on, how is the devil still chasing y'all centuries later? Or with all of y'all, how did y'all whoop his ass for good? After all this time, that wouldn't cause you to really think for yourself and be like, you know what? Perhaps my concept of the devil is skewed. Perhaps I was fed some false information to keep me in fear, to keep me in bondage, to keep me not really understanding my power, because you can't be powerful if you're still irresponsible. Perhaps I got a misunderstanding of this. Perhaps I should open up my mind. Perhaps I should start thinking on my own without everybody else's interpretation leading me down the wrong direction. Perhaps it really don't make sense that there's no fucking body chasing me, that the devil ain't on your goddamn back. Your skin is the only thing on your back. Your skin. You. It's all you. I say, stop with this. Choose. You either gonna be the victim or be the victor. And if you choose to be the victim, so be it. So be it. It's okay. That's what you choose to do. But for the love of and the sanity for all of the rest of us, shut up. Like, do this. Practice this. Quiet. Because we don't want to hear that. Okay? I say, Victor, sunshine. Okay? Put out in the comment section if you're the victor and not the victim. We responsible over here. We accountable over here. We do something about it. We don't just talk about it. We do something about it. Okay? We making power moves over here. This is what mastery is all about. We making power moves. We ain't gonna sit in silence. We not complainers and bitches and moaning. We not doing all of that over here. We take responsibility and accountability for the part we play. And with the information we have, we elevate. We don't disintegrate. We elevate. We rise. We rise. Ashe. Ashe. We don't and leave them. If them people want to continually be the victim, let them be, baby. They gonna drain you dry if you keep allowing them to. Speaking of draining you dry, I want to let all of you know that I am hosting a singular masterclass this Sunday, September the 7th, on energy harvesting. A lot of you do not know that your energy is being harvested. Whether you know it or not, like it or not, accept it or not, think what I just said is so far-fetched. If you had that thought in your head, even if you didn't have the thought, you still need to understand that there are people, places, and entities that is harvesting your energy. So a lot of times it's not the reasons as to why we're not attracting, creating is not just because we're scared. It's not just we're living in scarcity. It's not just that we are that we have a dominant program of lack. That's a part of it. Another part of it is that there are literally people, places, and things that is harvesting your energy and you don't even realize it. A lot of y'all feel drained, not because what you're doing, but because your energy is being harvested. And in this masterclass, I'm going to be going real deep into not the surface level energy by energy just moves. I'm not talking about the surface level. You need to know and understand the core of what energy is and what energy harvesting is. So I'm going to be teaching y'all what energy is. I'm going to be teaching you about you and energy, the connection. I'm going to be teaching y'all about who and what is harvesting your energy intentionally, the purpose of them harvesting your energy. And I'm also going to be teaching you how to transmute and protect your energy. And if you know that is important, Maurice, how are you, my love? If you know that is important, there are limited seats, so I want to make sure that you register. You need information in order to elevate, okay? I want all of you to do better. You cannot do better. You cannot attract the money you want. You cannot attract the love you want. You cannot attract the opportunities you want if you do not understand what is harvesting your energy. If you do not understand energy, everything is energy. Anything that has ever been materialized from the quantum realm has been materialized, okay? Transmuted, starts with energy and is because of energy. You cannot create if you don't have available energy to create with, especially when you want to create something new, right? Create new streams of income, create new, okay, forge new healthy relationships. Y'all need to understand this. There are not just systems that are messing around with nature. Y'all know that there are all type of electromagnetic systems that they fucking with around with, fucking with the cosmos with. Y'all know that they already have heart systems that is fucking with nature. Peace, beautiful. What's up? What's good? We already know that they have these systems. We already know that they tampering with portals, okay, which is why none of us can go to goddamn Alaska. The core of Alaska, okay, that's a whole nother masterclass. But if they can tamper with the frequency of the cosmos, they so greedy, they don't know how to leave well enough alone. Do you not think that they are also able to cipher off your energy? How do you think they can do the things that they do? How do you think they can create these systems? How do you think these entities end up winning? Why? They need available energy. Parasites need hosts to feed off of. Listen, good souls. Listen, beautiful souls. I want all of y'all in that master class. Okay, y'all need to understand this. If you care about your life, you need to understand this. You really do. Not only understand it, I'm going to be giving you the practices and tools that you need so you can start reclaiming your energy. I know people that reclaim your energy. Baby, just because you say, I call my power back to me from every place, from everyone, from everything. If you think that works, you are more disillusioned than you think. You are more, because there are thousands, probably millions of people who say that same quote, who say that same affirmation every day, and they being drained of their energy. That's not an opinion or perspective. That is a fact. And you need to understand that. I call my power back to me from every place, from everyone. Baby, if that's all it required, there will be more millionaires. There will be more beautiful relationships. There will be more healthy relationships. There will be more healthier children and running around in the world. If that was the case, if that's all you had to do to call your energy back, baby, then the majority of us wouldn't be in the low percentile of being in poverty. Wouldn't be in the lower percentile of dysfunctional families, wouldn't be in the lower percentile of not having enough, wouldn't be in the lower percentile of living in scarcity. If that was the case, therefore, that lets me know what? Many of us do not understand energy as much as we do. Many of us do not understand that our energy is being harvested, but it's being harvested, okay? It's important for you to understand this. Right? It's simple, but not that simple. I say it isn't. If that was the case, come on. If that was the case, come on. If the only thing you have to do is beg, plead, drink some wine and cracks and chew on some bread and some, the symbolism of cannibal. If only thing you have to do is wash your hands and wipe it clean and just recite a couple of phrases and words, baby, majority of us would not be in the lower percentile. Would not be. We would not be. Okay? So I'll be looking forward to you again. Okay? This master class, it is September 7th, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you're unavailable to be there, I suggest you still register for it because you can get the replay. Okay, it gives you the replay, it gives you the activity and the exercises that we're going to be doing, it gives you the rituals that I'm going to be sharing with you, and it gives you the understanding of what energy is, especially when it pertains to you, because you are energy. And I don't know about you, but there was a time when I said, you can't have you can't have it. You cannot have it. You cannot have my energy. No. I won't allow parasites, metaphorical parasites, to drain me dry. I won't allow that. So guess what? There's things you have to do. There's no skipping steps. A lot of y'all sometimes feel drained and overworked and burnt out, and y'all contributed to working too much. Y'all contributed to hustling. Y'all contributed to being around other people and things. And meanwhile, those are parts and attributes of it and causes of it, but it's not the primary thing. You're not always exhausted from the reasons you currently think. You're not always overwhelmed from the reasons you currently think. You're not always overwhelmed. If you click the link on my bio, it is the third tab. It says harvesting energy. Okay. If you hold on, TikTok, I'm gonna answer your question in a minute. Okay, so listen, I am infinite gratitude. I'm about to close out YouTube. Infinite gratitude to my YouTube family, to my Twitch family. Infinite gratitude to my Twitch family. Make sure you are subscribed. It is absolutely free. This is how you show your support, and I will show mine in return. Make sure you follow me and you come. I come before you every Monday and Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for all things mastery live lessons. Until next time, infinite gratitude, light, sovereignty, and abundance to you always.